So we're chilling out here at Freedom Fest, and I'll give you the opportunity that very few men have. You can bitch about what men do wrong on first dates.
Oh gosh.
So now, real important, this is not necessarily advice. So I talk about how men have different opinions about their objectives on first and second dates than women. So it's not necessarily advice. So she may say a few things, maybe she won't, but she might say a few things about things that conflict with Black Dragon, which is fine. So I'm just giving you a woman's perspective. You've been on the first few dates in your life.
Yeah, it'll be different from your perspective for sure.
Well, maybe not, because you and I, well, maybe not though. You have a lot of opinions that I agree with, so.
You think so?
Yeah, I know so. We've talked. So go ahead, you try it. Good. Just say, what do guys do wrong on first dates?
Okay.
First dates are first meets. So it doesn't necessarily have to be like go out to dinner date, but like the first time you meet a guy and he's hitting on you, but he's not a total creeper. He's not like this fat, disgusting slob. He's a guy that doesn't have a chance.
We're saying like I'm in a Starbucks and he comes up to me. Like there's different scenarios.
Okay.
Like Tinder. Like if a guy.
Let's do Tinder, because I talk about online dating. So let's do Tinder.
Okay, just to clarify.
You meet a guy on Tinder. Yeah,
okay, just to clarify, I'm not on Tinder. But
why not?
Because I have a boyfriend,
Yeah.
right? But anyways, okay, so I have a girlfriend and she's on Tinder like all the time. And she said something so funny to me. She said that guys will message her and be like, hey, do you want to go on a hike? And so she actually posted in her bio, no, I don't want to go on a hike. And you know what? I kind of agree with that. Like, if I meet a guy and he's like, hey, let's meet for coffee, it sounds to me like the least amount of effort that he wants to exert is a cup of coffee.
So what she's saying is dates that have a high level of commitment scare women off, because I talk about a 1 hour first date at a coffee shop or a bar. You get her one drink and you have one drink and that's it. You're not going out to dinner. And I talk about no event first dates, like, oh, let's go karaoke, let's go to a hike. That's an event first date. So that's exactly why I say that. It's too much commitment, right? It's not commitment's not the word. It's too much shit from you. Too early.
I just talked
too
to
much
a guy.
pressure.
He's on Tinder. He told me, Carly, I got a different date every night of the week, and I don't know any other names, so I call him Honey. And I'm like, well, shit, I'm not Honey. You know what I mean? I'm special. So I want to know that the guy feels that I'm special. And when he sees me, I want him to be like a gentleman. Like women, we want the fairy tale. We want the prince. Hey, I understand his perspective is a little different. Like, he thinks men should have many options, and I'm actually not against that. I just want to feel like I'm the only one. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I talk about that.
So if you ask me for coffee, it's like you're gonna commit to $5 to take me out. You really don't care to get to know me. I'm just one of a herd.
So coffee's not enough. So this is what I was talking about.
You better take me to dinner.
Take you to dinner.
And okay.
So you do like dinner dates, but you don't like hiking dates.
I need a glass of wine. Okay, they need to get an appetizer. Don't be cheap. Appetizer, even if she says no, put it on the table.
Now we're in the zone.
Yeah. Dinner, like steak, whatever.
Oh my God.
And then when you're done eating, I see a lot of guys do this. Excuse me, get me the check. Like, you cheap ass. Get me some dessert. You know what I mean?
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, put some chocolate on.
She's
the
from LA.
Like, spoil me a little bit.
Now, so be honest, have you ever met a guy who you hooked up with or had a relationship with who didn't do those things initially? Maybe later he did, but initially he didn't do those things.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And
Yes.
so give me an example of what he did or they.
I end up telling them, like, you got the wrong number. If you think that there's no investment here, because there's an investment. So, like, if I really like someone, I'll put up with it to a certain extent. We make that
Say that
mistake.
again. If you really like someone,
I'll put up with it to a certain extent.
that's the core of the 4 relationship phases, non-monogamous relationship phases. You can do things for a while, but not forever. She's exactly right.
Yeah. And then I let them know, you know, after a few months or whatever, hey, I was cool. I didn't highball you for things. I didn't highball you for gifts. I don't call you to take me shopping,
Initially,
whatever. It
right?
doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it.
Oh,
It
shit.
doesn't mean that you should forget Valentine's Day. It doesn't mean that you should just,
Once you're dating,
yeah, like as things progress, like,
Right, okay.
like, you know, guys miss those marks because they don't care about taking me shopping. They don't, we do, I care. If a guy
we don't care yet.
makes it special for me, like I will tell you, I dated a guy years ago that I told you about that was very
Yes. Oh yeah.
And he told me, when I am done taking care of you, I'm gonna wonder who is. That's what I'm gonna wonder who is.
Okay.
You know, and it's like, it doesn't mean, like, some guys have the perspective, if I buy her things, she's just gonna use me and not love me and respect me. And that's not totally true either. Like, you don't want to be the pushover.
Depends on the woman.
You don't want to be the pushover and the one that's used at all. But if you like the girl, you shouldn't forget hitting those marks.
Once you're in a relationship with a guy, right? Because then I don't disagree. I disagree a little, but not much.
What do
Once
you disagree on?
Well, if you're in a serious relationship, I agree with you.
Okay.
You should be able to, if a woman feels like she's being used in a relationship that is serious, then it's not going to last very long. So if a guy wants a woman long term, there needs to be some aspects of those I call it Disney, those Disney things, some. So Pink Firefly,
Yeah.
she gets some Disney. She gets some. She doesn't get all she wants, but she gets some. But we're together, we're married, we're serious.
But are you saying that as you're dating the first couple of dates in the first month, no gifts?
So here's what I tell guys. So I tell guys, first date, 1 hour, coffee shop or bar, and if they go to a bar, it should be a very fancy bar.
I wouldn't date any of your guys.
Well, but you said you did. Well, not you, my guys, but you had a guys.
I wouldn't let them take me on a date to a bar.
A really fancy bar? You've done it. But you've done it. You've gone on
Not
dates or
really.
first meets to a really fancy bar.
I will tell them to take me to dinner. I've told guys, you take me to
You've
dinner.
told them, but have you ended up? But you said it. You've ended up in a bar or something like that, and then later you had dinner. A different meet you had dinner, right? That's happened,
If
right?
I randomly met them at a bar.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not gonna meet a guy.
So
at
from
Starbucks.
Tinder, so from online dating. So here's a question: have you ever, from online dating, met a guy, first date that was not dinner? I'm sure you have, right?
Like a hookup.
Like a hookup. Okay.
Hookup.
Got it. Okay. All right. That's a hookup.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
All
cut,
right.
we cut the coffee all together. I've done that.
Okay.
I don't make a habit of it. I've done it.
Right. We've all done it. Okay. Right. A hookup.
There's a fear for women that, like, if we start low, that's what we're gonna
That's
get.
true.
But then
That's
again,
right.
my girlfriend Danielle, she should be here right now. She's so funny. She only does coffee because she doesn't want that. She doesn't want, like, the more intense.
I've met women like that. They only want coffee. They don't want dinner.
They
Right.
want in and out. Like, I
Right.
want to meet you, whatever.
Right.
For me, like, I'm more specific about my time. Morning.
Hi. Right.
I want all the attention from the guy.
So here's another question. Have you ever, and be honest, if you don't want to answer it, you don't have to, but if you answer it, be honest.
Okay.
Have you ever started regularly seeing a guy from one of those hookups?
Yes.
Yes.
It's always turned into something. Yes.
So that's my point. There were some guys, and maybe they were exception to the rule, but there were some guys who didn't take you to dinner, but you ended up liking anyway. Now, did those guys later take you to dinner?
I had a guy that I hooked up with, and he was like, we had this like wild fun night. And the next, don't show this to my dad. Anyways, the next day he like messages me and he's like, you are cool as fuck. He's like, I want to take you out. I want to take you to dinner.
So, right, after you had sex.
But I was kind of like, I can't believe I did that. Oh my god. And then I never
But
saw
you
him
did
again.
it. But you did it.
I didn't go to the dinner.
Well, why not?
I don't
That's
know.
interesting. Why not?
I was kind of like, oh my god. Because it was just like,
ASD. That's why she didn't do it. So I get guys all the time, you know you are, who get a hookup. They meet up and they immediately hook up. And then like, oh my god, you're awesome, we should hang out again. And she's gone.
yeah.
Why? ASD. You went too fast and you were too player. And a woman is not, correct me if I'm wrong, a woman is not going to want to date a player.
No.
They'll hook up with a player and they'll enjoy it. But dating in terms of long-term relationships, so what I tell guys is you need to be 85% player, 15% nice guy, 15% provider. And that way, you're able to get that player aspect in there and get to sex quickly, but still maintain her for X amount of time as a relationship. Right.
I look at these girls on Instagram, and I'm one of them for sure. But they have like a lot of like the G-string photos, and they're just coming out of the whatever. And I know I have cleavage today, but I don't always.
Why not?
But anyways, I feel like these guys a lot of times like I can understand their perspective of let me just like hit it and leave because they can't take her home with her mom or whatever. But I look at it from the same perspective. When I see a guy on Instagram that's thirsty, it's got his like half naked pictures everywhere, or he's up in my DM, like it's not attractive. What's
Correct.
attractive is a gentleman. You You know, Prince Charming is attractive. And he doesn't have to look like Prince Charming.
Prince Charming is attractive initially, and then he gets unattractive. But that's a whole different topic.
We want a guy that's sensitive with us. We're sensitive. Yeah. I'm very sensitive. Like, you know, I want a guy that thinks of me. I want a guy that texts me every day and says, "You're beautiful. You're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen."
Now, that's fine for a while, and then you're like, oh. What if that went on for months and months and months and months?
Well, what if he sent you like a nice little present and did that? All of a sudden, the dynamic
Every
changed.
once in a while?
A sugar
Every
daddy.
once in a while? Well, yeah. Every once in a while, sure. So I'll do that stuff with Pink Firefly every once in a while. But I'm not going to, and I tell her she's pretty, but I don't slather her with attention like, oh my God, you're so pretty, oh my God, you're so pretty, oh
Oh,
my
yeah,
God.
not too much.
She'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
right, but not too much. Yeah.
Not too much.
And again, that's in a relationship where you're already serious.
Yeah, but sometimes guys kind of sweep you off your feet.
That's
You
true.
just have to have a balance.
That's true. Don't do that. But that's true. Some guys do that.
Oh, and here's something else don't do.
Shit.
So I go to dinner with a guy. I lived in LA many years, so in LA it's like billionaires everywhere. So you sit at the dinner and the guy's like talking about his yachts and his cars and his houses and whatever, and you're just sitting there falling asleep. Like, can I get another glass of wine to get through this?
I've talked
thing?
about this on my blogs, yes.
One day my dad said to me, why
Yeah.
haven't you gotten married? And I said, if I could get to a goddamn dinner, I'd think about marrying this stupid bitch. You know?
Get through the dinner, meaning what is he doing wrong? He's bragging about his wealth.
Bragging about
He's
himself.
bragging about himself, and he's talking about himself. So what I tell guys is, shut your mouth on first dates. Let her do 85% of the talking.
Yes.
Because the more you agree,
Yes.
because the more you say, the more things she will find that she doesn't like, and then you're out. So shut
That's
your
okay.
fucking
You could come back.
And women process the world. Tell me if you agree. They process the world. They get to know people by talking, by them talking. That's what women are. Women are very verbal. So let them talk and you shut up. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how cool you think you are.
Yeah, and the most attractive guys are the ones where you go on a couple dates with them, and then holy shit, you find out he's got 3 super yachts in the Mediterranean and like 10 cars. Or
I never
whatever.
thought of it that way. I think you're right. I think that is even more attractive because you didn't know.
What a gentleman. I dated a guy years ago.
I agree with that.
The one I told you about. He had businesses he's never seen the inside of. When he wanted to like redo the business, he hired a team of people to go up inside and fire everybody. And he just would sit there in these nice little restaurants and take me to dinner and want to hear everything there was to know about me.
But again, you were already seeing him.
Well,
It wasn't initially, right?
I didn't know these things initially.
Oh, I see. Oh, this is one of those guys.
It
Okay,
just
cool.
sort of panned
Right.
like over the months. I
Good for
found
him.
out more and more. He was a gentleman.
That's good rich guy game.
Yeah.
Don't talk about it. Let her find out later. Yeah. I've never thought of it that way, but I think you're right. I
You
think I
should have
agree.
like a theme for that, like rich guy game.
Rich guy game.
Yeah.
Most of the guys I talk to aren't rich, and I try to tell guys how to get laid with hot chicks without paying money.
Well, I think your idea that's wrong. I think
Of
your
course,
idea.
no, it works, but long as you're talking. I'm talking about the first few dates. Now after that, you can do whatever you want.
I think your idea of teaching guys how to be successful with businesses and then dating, those kind of like you kind of need that. You know what I mean? 'Cause
Men need it badly.
I might like a guy, but if he can't take care of me or he can't offer me a future, then it's a tough situation where you're just like stressing.
That is called provider hunter.
Am I a provider hunter?
Are you over the age of 33?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's an age thing. So over the age of 33, you're more in tune to I need a guy to take care of me, which is fine. It's normal. It's biological.
By the way, I bought my boyfriend Prada for his birthday a couple days ago. I bought him Gucci. I buy him nice gifts.
Why?
I'm not
Oh my
like
God.
a gold digger. You know what I mean?
Oh my God!
I buy him nice.
You bought him a Prada bag? How much was that? $3,000?
It was a couple thousand. Yeah. So like
You better like that thing.
I buy him nice things too. I'm not like just a taker.
Pink Firefly has never bought me a Prada bag, so we're gonna have a little discussion.
People will be like, "Oh, she's a gold digger." No, I'm not. Like, if I accept that, I can give that too. You know, it shouldn't be a one-way street, right?
Long term, right?
Yeah.
There are levels. That's a whole different topic of how you manage that in a relationship with someone you care about.
Not
Yes.
every girl has the money to do those things, and a lot of times, sometimes I don't. But if I did, I want to make their birthday special, or maybe take his credit card and buy it for him. Guys need gifts too, right?
Right.
Yeah. So.
Cool. All right. You have seen into the mind of Carly.